Hey everyone, my name is Jordan Pulmano and I am a travel-based cinematographer and filmmaker. I'm here in Yosemite National Park and I figured what better way to show off my traveling camera kit than in this place here. And I'm just gonna run through my bag and show you everything I have. All right, so starting with the backpack, this is the Tenba Axis V2. I've been using this bag for 3 years now and this thing has gone all over the world with me. I've really put it through the ringer. You can tell there's, some pieces missing and it's definitely getting used, but this holds my entire camera kit from the small end to the large end. We'll start with the cameras here. This is my main camera body and what I shoot honestly about 80% of my professional jobs on. This is the Canon EOS C80. 6K full frame RAW or 4K downscaled from 6K, still using the full sensor. It's an amazing camera. I'm a huge fan of the Canon C80 and really all of Canon's cinema line. What I love about this camera is just the fact that I can literally bring it out of my bag and shoot it how it is. If I want to beef it up on larger productions, I can easily do that by putting a cage on here, throwing a monitor on. I now have SDI out, so I can plug an external monitor in, run a cable out to a Teradek or straight into another monitor, and now I have a clean feed sending out to client or director, whatever it is, and that just kind of opens up the world as far as the potential of what I can use this camera for. On this camera, obviously we have the Canon 24-70 RF 2.8. This is just kind of a go-to lens, part of the trinity of lenses that I'm running, which I'll get into in a little bit. The RF line of lenses is amazing. They're incredibly sharp. I really rely on the image stabilization because this camera doesn't have in-body stabilization as digital IS, which works decent, but it works really well in conjunction with the stabilization in the lens. So absolutely love this lens. It's almost always paired with the C80 and it fits in the bag just like that. So that's perfect. Real quick, then I'll get back to cameras just because this is in the slot where my camera goes. This is a little mini 3.5 inch sun hood. I use this thing all day, every day. You can see it's bright. There's sun popping on my face. Throw this on and now you have a little sunshade. And this has saved my life in a lot of outdoor shooting situations. Literally right now, my cameraman is shielding his monitor with his hand because it's so bright out here. So if he has this on there, it would have taken care of everything. So this is a absolute must-have in my camera bag. I never leave the house without it because if I don't, I find myself in a situation where I wish I had it. Moving on, let's keep in the world of cameras. We're gonna move to my next smaller camera down the list, and that is the EOS R5 Mark II. I just got this when it released last year, mainly because of the video functions. Now I do a little bit of video and photo work together, but primarily video. What's great about this is I have a lot of the same video codecs and files that I have in the C80, so I can kind of mix them. You can shoot XF AVC, you have long GOP, you have intraframe, you have RAW, everything is in here, and it's also, you can shoot up to 8K, which I don't typically do, but there's just the fact that I have the ability to kind of match these settings, C-Log 2, C-Log 2, everything. It's kind of the perfect B-cam. Now we'll move to the smallest camera in my kit. This is a brand new addition, and this is the EOS R50V. This has been one of my favorite travel cameras over the past few weeks that I've had it. I've been all over the place, New York, Boston, Las Vegas, now Yosemite, and just having a tiny little camera like this that I can bring along, technically fit in my pocket, but not really. This thing is just a really cool addition to the kit. This camera is a crop sensor, but it is RF mount. So crop sensor with an RF lens, I can put all of my RF lenses on this. I typically live with the new 14-30 kit lens on here just because it has the electronic little rocker here so I can zoom in and out, and it's just insanely light. I mean, this thing is like practically weightless. But if I wanted to, I can pop this off and say, I wanna go 14-35, let's just say for the video. Pops on like that. Now I've got full-size RF glass on this little tiny camera. Put the 70-200 on here. Same thing, now 70-200 on a crop sensor. I can probably pick up some crazy stuff way deep down in the frame. So this camera has a ton of potential. I'm very excited to keep using it throughout the year and just see how I can practically implement it into my camera kit. So that covers all of the camera gear in here. And with cameras, we need lenses. So let's go through everything I have. Obviously, I have the 24-70 that I already touched on, but I keep just the trinity of focal length. Let's start with 14, and this is the 14-35 f f4.0, and I'm incredibly happy with this lens because it's so much lighter and smaller than the 15-35. When I throw this on the R5, it's a beautiful wide vlog shot without really adding too much extra weight. So if I'm walking around vlogging, I obviously don't want a heavy camera setup. This thing compared to the 15-35 is just so much lighter and smaller, which again helps keep my camera bag compact. Last up, this is the RF 70-200. When you're trying to find that shot and you max out at 70 millimeters, 105 even, and you're just not quite there, you're not quite getting that compression and look that you want in a shot, that's where the 70-200 comes in, and it has saved me in a lot of situations where I'm really trying to just dial in the frame. This lens is also light enough to go on my C80 and then my C80 onto a gimbal. Sounds crazy, but I promise you it's not. It's actually really easy to do, but I run this a lot when I'm shooting concerts, live events, and in situations where I really want a deep parallax shot that doesn't quite translate as well on a wider lens. I throw this on. Typically at 135 is the sweet spot. This will balance on the Ronin with no issue with the C80. This is easily my favorite combo in my entire bag. Another thing that I love about this lens that a lot of people might not like about it is the fact that it telescopes. A lot of people love an internal barrel, and for a lot of good reasons too, but for me, again, I'm trying to keep everything in one backpack, and if I had a telescoping 70-200 that was maybe this much bigger, it would be much harder to fit into my bag. I might have to sacrifice some of the things that are in here. So this thing packs up so small. 14-35, I mean, they're really not that much bigger than each other. Sits in my bag with no issues. So the size aspect of this, the weight aspect is very important. All right, that covers everything camera-wise. Now let's move around and just talk about everything else that's in the camera bag. Most important, of course, memory cards. Just a cheap Pelican case that I keep right here in its little slot. I always, before I leave for a shoot, open my bag, make sure that this is here. If it's not, we've got problems. Moving down over here is where I keep all of my batteries. That all kind of stays there. Above that, camera charging, except for the C80. I usually keep that in my carry-on luggage. To the left here, I keep all of my tools, random mounts for my gimbal. We've got ND filter, which I don't need for the C80 because we have 10 stops of ND internally in this camera. This just kind of stays in the bag for when I'm shooting on the R5 because obviously I need NDs for that. If you don't carry one of these around, you should absolutely do that because you always are going to lose quarter 20s, everything, they just disappear. So having this just here ready to go is very important. That's everything here. Move up to the top, which I typically keep my headphones. If you travel, you know you have to have headphones. It's not even a discussion. These are the Bose QC45s, I think. And then I keep a Anker phone charger. This is where I keep important things like my laptop. And then the front here, this is where I keep portable hard drive. I always travel with a portable hard drive. This is just an M.2 hard drive enclosure. I'll show you here. It's literally just a little M.2 drive. You can swap these out, so when you fill it up, you need to replace it. You just pop it out and put a new one in. So I carry 4 terabytes around with me. I do a lot in the music industry, a lot of touring work, live event work. So ear protection is a must. And these are custom molded earplugs because when you work in music, you absolutely do not want tinnitus or hearing loss because it happens a lot. That is everything that I travel with and shoot on in one camera bag. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.